All right, what's up, everybody? We're gonna be rebuilding for the second to last time of my air compressor T30 head. So we're gonna just jump right in. I'm sitting there trying to put on the bushing for the piston heads, but as you can just see, I just put it on backwards. So I haven't quite figured that out yet, but if you're smart enough, you'll have noticed that already. Um, So there it is. There's me actually figuring out that I put it on the wrong way. So took it back off, put it back on. That little arm's got to be down so that it clears everything and also kicks up oil. At least I assume it's for kicking up oil. That would be what makes sense to me. Um, Here I am also making another mistake real quick. If you pay attention, you'll notice exactly what's wrong. It takes me a minute to figure it out. That I put a bolt right inside of the cylinder head right there. Can't quite figure out why it won't go on. So I smack at it. It takes me like 5 minutes, and then finally there I am. Oh, I'm an idiot. Got that bolt right stuck in the middle of the cylinder head, but luckily it's not too big of a deal. I didn't cause any actual damage to anything, so I just had to pop it back off and reset it. Now it's good. So again, I'm going to make another mistake, which, I guess I show you these mistakes, so hopefully if anyone else happens to be doing this exact thing, rebuilding a T30 air compressor, Ingersoll Rand air compressor, they won't screw it up. I like to put a little bit of oil on my gaskets so they seal a little bit better and sit better, and everything moves around easy when I'm trying to put it on. Just making sure I've got that gasket sitting in the correct direction, and I do, but I forgot something, which I will realize here in a few seconds. And there I am realizing it. I looked into the box and realized I forgot to put the gyroscopic switch, or whatever it's called. Basically, when the motor's spinning too fast, or spinning at a certain speed, it opens up and opens a valve right there or maybe it closes when it must close. I'm not exactly sure what it does, but there's a little valve on the casing right there that leads to an outside air line, and when that thing's spinning, it pushes on the little rod, and it either opens it or closes it. I haven't quite figured that out. I still have to finish plumbing everything and figuring out exactly how all the electrical's supposed to work and how all the plumbing's supposed to work, because I have it all hooked up right now in a way that kind of works, but those still little bolts you have to put a piece of wire through to keep them from spinning loose inside of the air compressor, because it's all oiled in there. You wouldn't be able to tighten it down to a point where it would actually stay tight. There you can see the little lines. I just used some old, like a wire hanger, and just threaded that through. It happened to be fit just perfectly, and used some of my iron worker knowledge to tighten them up real good. As you might have noticed, here I am screwing up again. Just, putting some bolts on. But oh wait, there's more. That's not the right size. Not even close. So I go grab the right size and get to it. I think it's good in things like this. You generally just kind of, anything that's circular, try to tighten it in a star pattern to avoid any kind of weird warps and tightening things in ways so that only one actually is tight and it doesn't pull against the bolts. And you can get some weird stuff if you don't tighten stuff. If you just tighten it all in a row, then you'll end up pushing bolts around and pushing the whole system around. So there are those fancy cylinders. I dropped a bolt inside the crankcase and managed to get it out with a brake caliper tool, or a brake rotor tool for drums and rotors. It's the little clip thing for pulling the springs. And now I've used it more than once, which means it was a good investment. But yep. Those are 3/4 if you care, which I don't know why you would, but I showed you, so now you know. Cleaning up the edges, there's going to be some gaskets that go on there, but just got to clean everything up and then oil it down for the gaskets and for the cylinder heads, because obviously those cylinder heads need a little bit of help coming in and getting put on. They aren't the easiest thing in the world to work on, but these are fairly nicely designed. As you can see, there's that little bevel there that allows the cylinder head to just kind of fall right into place and push all the rings in. Yep. So there we have me being bad at filming and filming outside of the race. If you noticed and you look back, you can see that I had those in a great spot and just dropped them all over. Anyways, here I spent way too long cleaning off that shaft a little bit so the rotor will just slide right on. Right now I'm just testing it to make sure that those everything's spinning properly and they're not seized up or anything in there, because you just have to barely get it on there and then it's pretty easy to make sure that everything's spinning smoothly and rotating. And it was. So I pulled it back off. There's that little front cover right there. You can see those bolts sticking out. I'm going to be putting that back on here in a second. And so I got to take the old one. There's a oil seal that goes on the end of the little deal right there, and there's the old gasket coming off. At the end of that cap, there's that oil seal that I'll knock out and then put the new one in. Or I'm just cleaning up the edge of that because this compressor was sitting in the field for like 10 years, and it was built in probably the 50s, so it's just a combination of horrid and ugly. But there you go, and you just got to make sure you tap it in real smooth, and then it works good. And yep, fits. And put some oil. I got to clean up that bushing a little bit. There was some buildup or something, so I took a file to that and made it work nice and purty. I think the way this works, see, there's this little hole right here. It's not threaded hole. You can tell. You can't really tell. Well, yeah, you can see threads in that one. But there aren't any threads in there. I don't know if I turn the light on if that makes it any better. That one's got threads in it. You just can't. Yeah, you can see them. Anyways, that connects to this hole right here, which also connects to this main chamber where all the oil's at. So I think that oil works its way from, while it's being spun, there's this little capture point up here at the top that I think catches some oil and drips it down into here. I don't know where that goes though. That's this little bit. That was just in there. I took it out just to take it out, but it's just pressurized, or it's got the same pressure that the whole inside chamber has in it. So it just releases pressure the entire time, but I don't think that's exactly what it's for. I don't know. Alright, so we're putting that cap back on there. It goes on pretty quick and easy. I had a little pain with the gasket and getting the bolts to sit in there right, but I like to use the wiggle it until it fits approach, where you just wiggle the bolt in the gasket until it fits. And here's this plate. The plate, if you can't hardly see, there we go. I had these machined back down because they were just pitted to all heavens. So like that's a smudge of dirt. But all this over there, that was all pitting. But I don't know if I'll be able to show you, but I filled it all in. Yeah, there you go, you can kind of see. It's all flat again. I filled it in with some epoxy and then sanded it all back down, and it feels just as smooth as everything else right now. So that means I'm within a few thousandths, and there's gaskets and everything, so it's really not too big a deal. But that's where the finger valves go. And the hard part of this whole machination is making sure you have it aligned properly and everything's facing the right way. So I do a lot of dry fits. Last couple of times I've tried putting these on here. So let's see, air in, right? So first of all, it's got to go either. The interesting thing about these is if you look really closely at the whole bolts, it actually only goes exactly one way. So that isn't it. That's really not it. So let's go back to this side. That could be it. Make sure that we're not backwards 180. Yep. So that's it right there. That's the way that goes on there. I'm going to grab a bolt. One of these ones. So I don't. So that goes like that. If I can get the other bolt in. Again, there's gaskets and everything in here, but I'm just making sure I got everything hooked up right. And then this goes on there. Oh, shoot. So that goes on there like that. And this has to line up with these. So not like that, but like, not like that. Maybe it was like this. Yeah, like that. So that goes like so. So that goes on there. So inlet, as you can see, is this valve, which means this valve. So when pressure goes in, that means this valve needs to be on the other side. And this valve needs to be on this side. Which is a pain because that's where all the pitting is, but it is what it is. These go like this. You see the bend in them I was showing you earlier. The bend, you want it to bend actually that way so that when you screw it down, it's sealed on the actual valve sealing part. Okay, so these suckers on here. And these are the ones that have the bolts. The other ones, yeah, these are both bolts. On the other head, they're different. There's two of each, and so one of them's one way and one of them's the other way. It's weird. So, as I drop stuff again. Well, what's new? So, yeah. Doesn't really matter how you put these in here if I remember right. Because there's tons of room on either side. They're either going to go in here or they're going to go in there. So, it's not a big deal. As long as they're in there. You get 2 and 2. 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. Hopefully they're all here. And you know what? I'm being stupid. The lock ring's supposed to go on the other side. You know, if I was smart, I would have cleaned these up, but this isn't the final, even the final time I'm doing this. I gotta do this one more time after this, because I am not putting all of the new rings in yet until I run it for a while with the old rings in it to clean up the bores because they were nasty. And I kind of cleaned them up with a file, and I don't want to ruin the rings if my filing job on the inside of a cylindrical bore didn't do a very good job. They were just covered in rust. There's some light pitting, not much though. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So we're just putting on all these bolts and finger valves so they all fit on properly. You got to be kind of specific with how you do it because each finger valve has to go on one side or the other. They're kind of a pain to work with, really, but you know they do their job and they sit in there and they fit. And so those are what those new gaskets look like. I got them from a website called Pacific Air Compressors. They're out of Seattle. They've done a pretty good job of being fairly customer service oriented. I have had a lot of questions, and they kind of, the representative I've been using is kind of slow sometimes. That paper said you got to make sure you re-torque them to 35 foot-pounds of torque like every 30 minutes for the first couple of hours you start running it. Actually, it says after 30 minutes do it, and then it also says again it's good to do it again an hour after running it, or an hour of running. So an hour of runtime on a compressor is a lot. But I don't actually have a torque wrench, so I'll have to either get a torque wrench or make sure I'm just wailing on them. So this is the low pressure side. Obviously it's got a bigger cylinder, so therefore it's creating less pressure with more air, which is good. So you get the more air, less pressure, and then that pumps over to the high pressure side, which gives you, well, the same amount of air as the high pressure side, but well, you're starting at a higher pressure, so you can get to a higher pressure. Until it's all cast iron and steel, and so I don't think you could really, as long as you're not freaking Hercules, you're not going to break it. Just like that, just kidding. These are actually pretty soft, these bolts. I don't know why that is. Maybe they expand a little faster when it gets hot or something. I don't know. Probably has absolutely nothing to do with it. See, that one doesn't sit quite right. These don't feel good to me. But I don't know. Alright, let's make sure. Oh, that goes like so. I think. And this goes right on top of it. Like that. It looks right. Alright, gasket time. What's fun is the kit comes with an air filter, but I have no air filter housing. So that's fun. Which, getting an air filter housing is one of the things that they have been a pain about, Pacific Air Compressors, but maybe I'll give them an actual call one of these days instead of sending emails. Not too concerned about it yet because I still have quite a bit of other work to get onto it before I actually start running it. And when I start running it, then I will care about having an air filter. But right now it sits in my garage and runs filtered garage air, which I guess probably isn't the nicest. I was going to put this aluminum wheel on there. It's a hair larger. It's got the exact same bore, but I have to put a keyway in here. And then put a set screw or something on the back side. You can see the back side. I have to put a keyway in there and then put a set screw. But I don't have those tools, and they're expensive, I found out. So I'm not going to worry about it for now. I'm going to hang on to the wheel, pulley or whatever you want to call it. But it's not going on yet. Alright, now it's on the set screw. Oh, yeah.